Very happy to have you today for the Satin brunch. Thank you to be there, and we are going to start with a conversation. The subject is buying fabrics in ready-to-wear world. We have a paper on every table, so you know the program, but you need to know that we are really important guests for us. So you are going to take part of this conversation as well. So yeah, I'm Frédérique Leininger. I'm the founder of Insae, and alongside Daniel Arosemena.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the creative lead of Vlisco, and we are going to have. I'm really happy to have this conversation with you and to lead this subject. So the question is, does buying and tailoring fabrics remain an essential choice in today's fashion landscape?
Indeed.
So, first of all, applaud him. Thank you. Okay. Yes, to have this good energy. Thank you. So, can you tell us more about introduce yourself, sharing a bit about your background and your role at Vlisco?
I would love to. I mean, as Frédérique said, thank you all for being here. For us, it's very exciting to create a space to have these kind of conversations. We really like to engage. So today, of course, the Q&A, we're doing it up here. But I think during the weekend, I've also tried to engage with conversation with everyone because it's very nice to have this dialogue. About me, I mean, I'm creative lead at Vlisco indeed. I've been working for Vlisco almost 2 years, and it was a great opportunity to join the team and to support, especially with the creative direction, with the fashion direction that we try to convey with the campaigns, with what you have seen also yesterday with the launch of Satin Royale, the collaboration with Didi. So that came to be also as a combination of my background. I'm a fashion designer that I've been working also in the industry now for almost 9 years. And previous to fashion design, I also studied audiovisual communication. So creative direction was something that really appealed to me when I jumped into the professional world, as it was a perfect combination of everything that I was exploring as a designer visually and with clothing, but at the same time to be mindful of what customers want to see from a brand, also what a brand wants to communicate, what kind of values you want to transmit, and to have that that sharpness to try to make the creative also visual and expressive. So that's a little bit about my background. I've also launched my own ready-to-wear brand in 2020, and that was really nice. It was another venue to explore also my my vision as a designer, really following my my own personal taste, and I've also taught fashion design, which was great to engage with young generations, also finding their own way. So it has been a journey trying to explore my interests in many different facets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Huge background. Inspiring. And for now, for the subject, how does the experience of having clothes tailored compare to ready-to-wear options?
I think that I mean, ready-to-wear is, of course, how the majority of people nowadays engage with fashion and with shopping for their personal options in terms of looks. But there's something still very special about tailoring and being part of the process. I think most of the people here and the people that love Vlisco are they love that that idea that you not only choose the print that you really love and the colors, but that you already have in mind what you want to create. It's undeniable that there has been an influence, many decades ago the idea of buying fabrics and getting things tailored was much more spread throughout, not only I think in Africa, but throughout the world. And that's something that has diminished, especially, let's say I live in Europe, so it's much more difficult to have it there. It became something quite expensive and luxurious. I think that is also something that is happening now also in the continent, as people more and more have options that are ready to wear and that can be faster and maybe cheaper. Mm-hmm. So we understand how that landscape, influences how people that maybe used to only think of buying fabrics and then having tailored, now that they also have that option, they weigh that option the moment that they need to buy the fabric and they need to tailor something. So we need to cater to that mentality as well. So yeah, and I think in that sense was the proposal that we're doing with Satin Royal, which is trying to communicate also to a young consumer that it's very used to ready to wear, to that comfort, and they seek also that when they want to buy a fabric and have it tailored.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But how has the accessibility of ready-to-wear in Africa influenced the demand of traditional fabric buying?
I mean, I do think that that accessibility has shifted maybe consumer behaviors for younger people, especially. But what we think is also quite important locally, there still is a big tradition of this process. So we know that people still want to engage with it, but there has been some changes around it. Ready-to-wear is more and more available. We have some amazing designers also today here who have incredible creations, right? Being available and really inspiring with their own vision. And the consumer now also has a possibility to engage with that vision truthfully and very excitingly. And we give them also the option to then buy a fabric and then maybe explore their own vision in terms of fashion and inspiration. But definitely has had an influence, right, in how they do it, how they look at fabrics, what kind of silhouettes they want to do, and then also maybe in how they can find themselves buying and looking for a tailor to have it made.
Okay. Okay, so what are the biggest challenge at the moment for custom garment creation around the world and especially in African countries?
It was in a conversation that I was actually having this weekend that we know how there used to be, for instance, speaking now about Europe first, this widespread, accessibility to tailors and or for people to do it themselves at home. Most households had a sewing machine. People knew how to maybe not doing a full-on garment, but adjusting what they had, changing a hem, maybe opening the seams if you needed to, or adjusting it when it wasn't fitting as good as you would like to. And it used to be taught in school, or maybe it used to be taught in your household by families, right? That was a tradition. It's my understanding that here in Africa as well, I'm from Latin America, that existed as well. I inherited a sewing machine from my grandmother, So, but we don't see that anymore. The world, in that way, the accessibility of ready-to-wear has taken that need to do it in-house. And it is, we do see how that, especially with younger generations, is not as accessible. What I do think is quite interesting is that, especially now that the kind of consumers that are really seeking more experiences, younger generations that also want to be more part of the process, they're seeking for personalization, they're seeking for customization. So they want to re-engage with they being part of the design process, not only in certain ways. So maybe I think there's still, a venue to explore that.
Okay. Considering that sewing was once what Fred killed, do you think it's now becoming a lost tradition among younger African generations?
Exactly. I think that's a nice follow-up with what I was saying. I mean, maybe I'm now also speaking also for Vlisco. Is also important for us to keep supporting, you know, designers, to keep supporting people who engage with sewing. We have the Fashion Fund, many different initiatives, but we do see that it's not as prevalent as it used to be. So there's, I think it's a pity that doesn't exist as much. I mean, I'm a designer, so I love clothing, and I have, of course, an interest in it that goes beyond the necessity of having clothes. It's just the art, you know, of doing that. And also to think of clothes as things that are part of your life, your wardrobe, how you think about them, you fix them. There's an engagement there that really makes you own what you have in your closet. And the moment that starts to disappear, and we do see that happens, then that connection starts to disappear as well, which is a pity. But yeah, indeed, that is not something as prevalent as before, and as relevant, I think, for a younger generation. I do have an anecdote. It's really funny. My nephew, he's around 25, 26. He lives in the US, and then he calls me, and he's a lawyer, and then he saw TikTok. And he saw that he could make a bag for his girlfriend, and in a video of 3 minutes, right? So he called me and he's like, okay, I want to do this bag for my girlfriend. And for I saw the video, I think I can do it. I was like, okay, and that seems very adventurous of you to jump into making a bag. And he bought a sewing machine. And he did it, actually. It was not perfect, but he did it. So maybe there is, you know, a space for do it differently. Maybe it's not like a generational thing that you learn from your family, but I do think that perhaps people can engage with it maybe by social media. Exactly, in a different way.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and what influence has ready-to-wear had on Vlisco? Speaking about Vlisco.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, I think we also see ready-to-wear, but we're influenced about fashion all the time. We understand the influence of how ready-to-wear changes consumer behaviors in terms of what they're seeking for their silhouettes, their comfort, their textiles, and Satin Royal, in that sense, was an opportunity for us to still bring the quality that we always achieve for, that we seek for, but in a fabric that was lighter, that was more comfortable, and that is something that you see very prevalent in ready-to-wear, especially in streetwear, in things that are more day-to-day, right? So we feel very privileged, of course, that our traditional fabrics have always been part of very special ceremonies. People use them to create beautiful garments, to create inspiring silhouettes. But I think that they also want to use it in a day-to-day, you know, kind of way. And to have the movement, to have the flowiness, to have the comfort of maybe it's a garment that you can go out in, you can go to an event like this, and then maybe afterwards you go to work and it still feels very comfortable. So that is definitely in a way that it has influence. And I think on the other side, from a fashion perspective, we do see what people are trying to, they're looking, you know, when they're seeking for the kind of silhouettes. We are not per se a fashion company in the sense of we do not offer ready-to-wear, but I do think that we occupy a space where people look for inspiration to us. So it is very important that when we create campaigns, when we create fashion that showcases the the style vision that Vlisco has. That we do it understanding what is happening on ground, what is happening in different countries, also globally, so that we stay relevant, we still connect with our customers, but we definitely evolve with the times. And ready to wear is here, is the most important, in that way.
We can see that it's a new way of communication, that you build a new storytelling over here because you bring many persons and many new faces in Abidjan today. Do you think that it's going to contribute to your new vision?
I think that what we really wanted to is to indeed launching Satin Royal, having the opportunity of having the event yesterday, creating a whole atmosphere around it. The guests that we have today, the fact that we are having this conversation right now so openly about a subject that obviously is very important for us, is part of the vision of how we want to engage, how we want to present our products, how we want people also to interact with it, react to it, and also foster conversations. For me, it has been very exciting to hear what people had to say, touching the fabric yesterday. Today also the process also with Didi when she was getting her looks ready for the campaign. So yeah, all those elements, little by little, I think are different notes that we're trying to put together in one we want to bring across to communicate. So the fact that we did a gallery exhibition yesterday was also new for us, and it was at the same time try to convey the same spirit, especially of the woman of Satin Royal, what she's interested in, how she sees the world. So indeed, it's all part of the same vision.
You know that they can get the emotion through the other luxury brand, international brands. So I think it's not cultural at all. It's just the way that you're gonna drive your value by yourself. Yeah, what she said, and that's the only way to educate.
The story and the process and the challenges, of course, and also very special that, of course, in Africa, but globally, the brands are having recognition and for the hard work. So that's and these narratives, and I think for us in that sense, as you were saying now, Frédérique, it is important for us to also create narratives that resonate, that challenge also a little bit, that feel special, that. The textile, for instance, now we have a new launch. It has a meaning. It has, a 360 point of view that we're trying to put out there to support, to enhance, to inspire as well. And of course, it's a product, but there's much more to it.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, thank you. Can you applaud him? Okay. We're gonna say thank you because I think this conversation was very important. Thank you to Vlisco to take part of this conversation and to build this new narrative. Thank you. Thank you, Daniel, for this also.
To everyone, and thank you, Frédérique, as well, for moderating this. And enjoy the dessert.
Enjoy the dessert. Thank you.